What is going on? This is getting absolutely crazy when it comes to all these reveals and stuff that we just don't expect to come from the Transformers toy line. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Transformer crossover with the Top Gun franchise, trying to make those connections there. Go, oh, well, they're both the same studio. There's a movie coming out. It kind of makes sense. Why not? There's the product to be there. And then when hindsight is 2020 and we look back and we go, there was a listing a while back on Amazon. And we had the TRA, which stands for Transformers, Gen, which stands for Generations, Project Future. And we didn't make the connection because prior to that we had Project Muller, which ended up becoming Ectotron, the Ghostbuster crossover. Project Cruise, should have saw that one coming. Which was Maverick, the Top Gun crossover. We should have known what Project Future was trying to be here. And lo and behold, we now have this teaser reveal through the official Transformers Instagram account of a Transformers X or crossover with Back to the Future. Wow, that's crazy. So, this isn't the first time a DeLorean has been in Transformers fiction. The very first time was the aptly named Swindler, the Micromaster back in 1989. The name Swindler comes from the dubious history of John DeLorean and a DeLorean and its history of swindling people, but I'll get into that in another point in the future. Maybe I'll save it for one of the YouTube live streams and explain that whole history. But essentially, that was the first ever DeLorean Transformer, a small little Micromaster, named after the dubious history of that car. And then, of course, there was the, if you were part of the early fandom, the very famous Steel Skin, which was a heavily remolded and retooled G1 1984 Sideswipe to be a DeLorean. And it was done by a fan, and he made his own commercial, he made his own custom box, everything very elaborate, was at a few BotCons back in the mid to late 90s. And that was that. And then, of course, we had our recent Swindler, I guess we'll call it a remake through the Siege line. Not really a DeLorean in this case, but maybe the writing was on the wall back in the day. And we knew that something was coming outside of ignoring this Project Future listing from Amazon that we got a few weeks ago. So it looks like we're getting a DeLorean based off of the Back to the Future design. And the question is now, because we don't have images of what it really looks like, just this teaser image of the logo for it. The question is, how are they going to go about this? How are they going to go about this? Is this going to be an original mold? Is this going to be a crazy redeco / retooling like they did with Ectotron? If it is that case, who would they use? Would they use the Siege Sideswipe? That would kind of work, I guess, if you want to go with that deluxe price point. That would be kind of small, but, I could see it, I guess. Maybe Earthrise Wheeljack, a little more of a departure, but I mean, if the retooling is done in the right places and the engineering's there, what would the name of the character be? Are we going to go to Steel Skin and give an homage to that old fan custom? Could we go with something like Docbot or something, I don't know. It's one of many names. Throw in the comments what you think the name might be or what the mold might be used for it. And then lastly, the reasoning behind doing all of this. I mean, again, when we looked at Ectotron, it coincided perfectly with the IDW comic books crossover that was happening at the time. When we look at the Maverick, the Top Gun crossover, we do have the new Top Gun movie coming out. It's the same studio as Transformers. It all kind of just falls together nicely there. But, with the 2020 written on this logo here, the only connection I could make really at the moment, unless I'm missing something, is that next month in July is going to be the 35th anniversary of the Ghostbusters franchise, and maybe they're trying to share some kind of, connection with Transformers there. That's the only explanation that I could really think of, because again, I think it's July 6th was the anniversary of it. But so this is very exciting. It really makes me wonder, what is it going to be? What mold is going to be used? How it's going to look? But I know that fans are going crazy about it, and in my personal opinion, it's just my personal opinion, maybe because I'm a motorhead, but of the three that have been revealed thus far, this is the one that I'm the most excited about, more than the Top Gun one and more than the Ectotron, which still to this day I have not picked up. I messed with it from the line. In the future I'll be able to pick one cheaply. But this is really cool. This is really, really cool. I really dig this a lot. The DeLorean, despite all its controversy, is quite the iconic car, and a Transformer that turns into a DeLorean is all the more welcome, especially one based off of the Back to the Future design. The question is now, it really seems like it's kind of an open slate for like 80s property nostalgia. So what other iconic 80s vehicles could be done from this? Could we see like a turtle van from the Ninja Turtles get one? Could we see, I don't know, the A-Team's van? The Mystery Machine? Well, actually, that'd be more of the 60s, but, you know, it's something where it looks like Hasbro's really targeting all of these 80s nostalgia properties and turning them into Transformer crossovers. Needless to say, my crossover section of my collection, which is already filled with the Mr. Potato Head stuff, the Star Wars stuff, the Marvel stuff, now it's, and even the Disney label stuff. Now we're going to see even more added to it with this guy here, whatever his name is going to be. So what do you think? What mold are we seeing here? Maybe it's a brand new mold, but if there is if it is a retooled pre-existing mold, what do you think they're going to go with? What do you think the name of the character would be if there's something creative that exists that I'm clearly missing out on here? But this is really exciting news. This is really exciting news, and we still have more news to discuss later today.